Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is ManTheMaker. Welcome to a new Let's Play for a little game called Armageddon Empires. This game was released in 2007 by a little independent studio called Cryptic Comet, and a game that I have very, very fond of. It is a 4X strategy board game type game. Taking place in a science fiction world where the world has ended, four factions vie for control of what's left. You have your kind of basic human survivors. You've got those humans who have mutated. You have the machines, the machine armies, and you have the aliens. All of them have different strengths and different weaknesses, and you guys just kind of try and duke it out for survival, really, most of the time in my case, but eventually for victory. The way the game works is you kind of build a deck of cards. You can draw so many cards as the turns go by. You gain resources. You spend these resources to build and deploy armies, and then go out and explore the world, encounter the enemies, fight them out in mostly simplistic combat, but the big thinking kind of happens before the combat, I would say. And then hopefully you go ahead and win the game. Now, I haven't played this game in quite some time. I was never that good at it either. I'm going to be honest. I think I played it like 5 years ago. A fair amount. Beat the game maybe only 2 or 3 times. There's an expansion pack that you can get for the game, which frankly just makes it harder. It just makes more people that are going to be there to kill you. But still, like, the atmosphere, the feeling of the game, the kind of like the desperation and the fear that you tend to feel in the game is very real, and I really enjoy it for those reasons. Now, you can create your own decks, create your own edit decks. This basically lets you kind of put out your own army with an own style. I had never got advanced enough to do that. So we're not going to do that. In fact, we are going to go ahead and we're going to play a game. We're going to go ahead and start a game. The UI is very basic, I can say. You'll also note that it does not play in a great resolution. Possibly if you go and tinker around in the files, you maybe can fix that. I haven't actually tried, but it's possible. Potentially. The possibility is there. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass right now. So we're going to go ahead and pick our deck, right? So these are the 3, as I said, the kind of 3 factions you can play as. I've only ever had any success as kind of what I think is like the most balanced. Okay, I've also done well with the Mutants. We're going to play as just your bog standard Imperials, right? We are the human survivors. We have banded together into probably an autocratic government, and we are going to attempt to survive against these 3 other factions. So we will be playing against all 3 of them. You can kind of see a breakdown of our cards. We got heroes, unit cards, facility cards, attack cards, kind of whatever for now. If you're not familiar with the game, it's better just to see kind of what things are as we actually get into it. So we're going to select them. We're going to leave everything kind of at just standard. We're going to have an opponent as you, an opponent as you. Can I not? Yes. We're going to have one opponent of each. Now, right, the problem, this is the expansion pack. The problem with the expansion pack is that it makes it harder, right? When Cult of the Wastelands is turned on, there are just more opponents. More people who can kill you. And my experience with that is that they can and they will probably kill you. There's like a couple of random ones that can spawn. I don't think all of them spawn always, but I could be wrong about that. For purposes of this series, we're going to leave it on. I mean, I have played a little bit preparing for this. I'm have a drink. I'm actually drinking wine tonight, which I almost never do when I'm recording, but I had to put to rest my Caveman to Cosmos series, and you know, my heart was a little broken there, so I'm drinking. You know how it goes. Yeah, we're gonna leave it on because if I get wrecked, so be it. You know, I'm here to both. I kind of want to introduce people to the game if they're unfamiliar with it, as well as just kind of have fun. And one of the great things about this game is you know, kind of, I don't know, the emergent stories that can happen. So if you die early, it's fine because it's kind of cool in the atmosphere, right? That's the I love the music, which you can hear now, but like just kind of like this atmosphere, this honestly this feeling, I don't know, of oppression is what I take it. And maybe that's because I'm not that good at the game, and if somebody becomes very good, they no longer will suffer from that, but I do. So there you go, we got our basic setup. I've talked enough. We're going to start the game. We're going to do a lot of dice rolls. So as you can see, this screen is something you're going to see a lot of. These little dice here are basically how most things play out. So we're going to roll our die to see who kind of lays their tiles out first. I don't really know that this matters, so we're just going to let the dice go. If it has a tie, it just reloads. We get to lay our tile first. So you can see here, we are on the edge of the map, in the south, in the center. This tile is our staging area. Now we're going to place this, and this has the resources that our faction uses. So every faction will have different resources. That's what these numbers are here. Humans kind of use everything balanced. Machines, for example, don't use all the same things, all the same resources, or they favor others more compared to the other races or factions, I can say. We'll get to the resources in just a moment. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pop it down right in the middle. No. Can I? Okay. I meant to, I wanted to put it there. Actually, probably more likely, but what's done is done. Let's go ahead, set that tile. We are finished. They are now all laying their own tiles. We now drag our stronghold. So our stronghold is this little building here. It's our headquarters. Yes, I know. RC is resource collection. We've got 1H, 1M, 1T, and 1E. I'm going to go and pop that bad boy down right there. We will get into the resources. Why not? Right now. So you can see up top, we actually have 5 resources. We got action points, we've got humans, we've got materials, energy, and technology. These are the things that we use to deploy units onto the field. These in particular are kind of like what you use to construct the army. Action points you use for a vast amount of things. These things you get very obviously from what you are able to collect. So to start off, because of our available resources here, these ones, as well as the resource collection that we have for each of those, we will get 1 of each per turn. As I said, some factions get all different kinds. The Machine Empire, for example, cares very little for humans, whereas mutants tend to use them quite a bit. We, as the Imperials, use a fairly even spread there. The only way to get more is to find other tiles that have these and then place a building, essentially, that has the resource collection option. There are also resource generation buildings, but they are a bit more rare. I don't even know if the humans have any, if I'm going to be totally honest there. But, yeah. AP, you'll see how we kind of develop that each turn, and it's a little bit different. So we'll start that, and we can just go ahead and start the game. Game map is being created. And we are going to be ready to go in just a moment. Let it lay out all its tiles. Now, again, I probably am going to get my ass kicked. I'm going to, full disclosure there. I mean, I've been okay at the game in the past, but things do tend to go poorly. Things do tend to go poorly very fast in this game. I mean, I'll just take it right now. I'm probably going to leave my base undefended. Somebody's going to swoop in and just take it, and that's going to be the game over. You got to be very careful. So, here we are. Buy initiative die. The way that you get action points is whoever has the highest initiative. So you roll these dice, right? I'm going to click done. I'm not going to spend any of these things. We'll have 3 dice to roll. We're going to roll against all of the other opponents, and whoever has the highest the dice, whoever wins, gets the most action points and gets to go first. And then it declines from that. So if you're second, you get the second most action points. I don't remember the actual spread. I think you start with 12, and then if you're in last, you can be at 2 or 3 or 6. I don't actually remember with 4 players, but it's bad. And you go last. You can spend your resources, as you see, to get more dice. So on turns when you're like, I need more action points and I've got a crap ton of energy that I don't care about, you can go ahead and spend that. On turns when you're like, I need to go before this other person or they are going to wreck me, you can also kind of hedge your bets. But nothing is given. Let's go ahead and roll the dice. We got 3. That's pretty good. We actually get to take our turn first, which is quite nice. Boom. Go ahead and start the round. We start our turn. We got 14 action points. Now, you kind of use these things for just about everything. We have got our cards down here. As you can see, they all have a resource cost as well as an action point cost. And then they've got all kinds of other different numbers over here. So we might as well kind of just briefly go over that. The top left number is attack. This is just how much damage they deal. Or rather, it's how many dice they roll to deal damage. Defense is the same thing. Resistance is also dice they roll in some kind of defensive action, but it's not just being attacked. I actually don't remember what resistance does. Shame on me. You got movement, obviously, how far they move. Units can have a range. That's unimportant for now. Also hit points, how much damage they can take before they die. And also special abilities. So our MORV4 or MOR54 Leopard is decent in strength. It's cheap to put out, but it also has Rekka S5R1. This is reconnaissance. It's got a strength 5 reconnaissance, so stealth units can possibly not be seen by it, only in a range of 1. Reconnaissance units are incredibly important because you cannot see units next to you without reconnaissance. You are completely blind in this world without reconnaissance. So we are going to just go ahead, pick it up, drag it, spend all of our resources. We now have no more. We still have 12 action points. It took 2 to deploy that. We have another one, right? So we could deploy more. As long as you have the resources and the action points, you can do everything you want. There are hard limits to the action points, right? I think 14 is the most that you can get, barring potentially some special abilities. Like look, this thing. It costs 11 to deploy. The MEBU-2 Vengeance, it is an absolute monster in combat. Allows you to attack multiple targets. Successful attack does double damage, has 10 attack, 8 defense, 14 hit points. An absolute beast, but is damn expensive. Damn expensive to put out. Not going to be using that for a while. These guys are a little bit more middle range, right? Unit can add 5 to its attack die, but then suffer a -2 defense penalty for the remainder of the round and must remain committed for an additional round. Basically, it can do an extra strong attack, be weaker, and then lose its next turn. Pretty good. Imperial Grenadiers, if they actually hit somebody, they basically end their unit's turn. Very, very, very good. Very, very good. Also has Hyperkinetic +2. A bonus is applied to damage inflicted in successful combat against armored targets. Infantry targets receive a -1 damage modifier. So these guys are like, we want to use them against armored targets, which I'm sure we will probably encounter. Here we've got an Imperial War College. This is a facility academy. So if we encounter, let's say, someplace has humans out here. First we have to build an outpost. It's not even this building. First we have to build initially an outpost. Then we can place that building on the outpost and start to collect humans. It's fairly difficult in this game to get resource generation going, I have found, depending on the luck of the draw. Sometimes, I think, who is it? The machines? Pretty good at generating energy, but also, this is a pre-built deck. Maybe you can go ahead and build something of your own that's a little bit different. Last up of our cards, we've got Fulton Strangelove here. He is a technologist. He can salvage and create technology, and he can develop tactics. Basically, he can, using resources, once he's deployed, right? We actually have to play him into the field. Once he's deployed, we can use him, costing resources, costing action points, to create technology, to salvage, and to develop tactics. Technology are things that you can usually attach onto your units. Tactics are cards that you can play in battle. I'm never been very good with the tactics bit. If you've ever seen my channel, hey-o. Anyways, here's a pretty good. This guy is basically someone who would just stay in our base and try and develop tactics and technology for us. We're not going to worry about using him for now. We can't even deploy him. And I think really the strategy early on is just try and get units out. You want to explore because you can unlock, you can find free resources out there. You also want to have an idea of what's going on, so you can continue exploring. Now, one thing to note, I'm just going to pop this open. You have limited supply. If you move out of this, you take massive combat penalties, and you can only move, no matter how fast your unit is, 1 per turn. So something to bear in mind, right? You can't just go anywhere. You got to stay in supply. How do you expand that supply? With buildings, with things that you can find out there. Whew, okay, so there we go. We've gone over our hand. We've gone over our resources. We deployed this unit. Here he is. He's now just here, though. He can't actually do anything. He's just in the garrison. If we want to send him out, we got to create an army. Costs 3. We can give special, unique names. I tend to not do that because you end up recycling your armies, changing them as the game goes on. And sometimes the name doesn't quite fit anymore. I will still name it Reconnaissance. I don't know why. Why is it RECCE? I don't know. We'll call it Rico. Rico's Roughnecks. Sure, why not? We are the Imperials after all. Boom, go ahead. Army created. Cost us action points. We can now bloop, pick you up and move him into there. We can now actually go ahead and move this army. Rico's Roughnecks. Costs 1 action point to move. I don't actually know. It has 3 moves. That's what that means. So we can spend an action point and move it. Now, bigger armies, slower units will take more action points to actually move around. So it's like you always have this trade-off of action points and, can I move my giant, massive, super deathball army? And if I can, at what expense does that make? So we are going to obviously move these guys. And what I'd like to do in the beginning with my first reconnaissance army is explore around our area within supply. Just try and see what's going on out there and then keep them moving around. Like, you have to actually consistently maintain reconnaissance or you will be screwed. So, bloop, let's go move him there. Nothing happened. Go move him there. Nothing happened. Go move him there. You can see once we've moved into it, we have a little name, so we know that we have explored it, in fact. Sometimes, now, we want to hit up everything within supply. I actually probably screwed that up a little bit, and I thought for some reason. We are going to want to go out into here, but I think with my second reconnaissance unit, I'm going to send him out all the way just out to here and see what's going on over there, even if he is out of supply, and try and keep him away from fighting stuff. Because we want to know what's there. We also want to know, there might be some really powerful things that we can get for free, right? We can get free resources, we might uncover things, we can find that there's a threat waiting for us. So, sort of we are done with our turn, right? We have no more resources, we don't have really anything else to do, we still have 8 action points. Well, the only way to draw more cards is to actually click the button and draw the cards. It costs action points. Costs 3 action points. It's not a tiny amount. What do we get? Well, we got ourselves another hero here. He is a trickster. Now, okay, one thing I left out. They also have stats. right? They cost a resource. They've got wound points, so they can get wounded, usually in just kind of assassinations or if they're being hunted. They don't directly take part in combat. Command rate, I think, is how many units that they can carry in an army, because your armies are restricted in size, unless they are led by a hero. Fate, 6 dice rolls if he's leading an army or in partaking in some other thing. He can re-roll dice 6 times. He also has resistance, which again, frankly, I don't remember what that does. Trickster 2, we can retreat his army on the first round of combat and reduce the strength of enemy retreat attacks by 2. Basically, you can retreat if you get stuck, but you have to wait around normally, and everyone gets to shoot at you when you retreat. So if you stumble into a massive army with like your scout and you try and retreat, you're probably just going to die. He makes it more likely for you to not die. Also, Tactical Genius, tactic cards do not cost AP to play during ground combat when this hero is in command. Nice combination there, if you recall. This guy can develop tactics. So, you know, we can develop some tactics. Then with this guy's armor, we can use those without using any action points. Pretty nice combo. We also picked up an Imperial Research Lab. Another facility. This one can collect tech per turn. Just like this thing collects humans. Now, they don't generate it. So we can't just put it down, right? Like, we have building slots available here. Boop, boop. 1, 2. We can't just put... If we put these down here, they will do actually nothing. They will do absolutely nothing. We need to find on the map somewhere that has the relevant resource, then build an outpost, which we don't even have yet. And this has always kind of been a pain in my butt dealing with that. And then, right, get the outpost, then put it down. And then it's only 1 tech per turn, 1 human per turn. The humans, I feel, suffer a bit from their resource generations. I still do pretty well with them, so maybe they're strong enough in other ways. But, right, so we still have 2 action points. Can we do anything with this? I don't actually think so. One thing that you can do is you can always try and create an army. We don't have the action points, right? If you ever have 3 left over, just plop out 3. Just make them. Spend it, make the army, because it's better than just letting it waste, right? Make as many armies as you can, as you want. Also the same with just drawing cards. You don't automatically draw cards. So, you know, you can get a lot of value from there. And, I mean, that is the end of our turn. We have done 1 turn. Well, I've been explaining the game well enough for you who have never seen or encountered this game before. I really, really, really do like it. It is $15 from the developer directly. I don't think it's on Steam. I'm going to have a link down below to their website. I really can recommend the game. It's fun. I mean, the UI is very, very basic. But the theme, the feel of the game, again, like if you're into kind of a strategy game that is damn hard, the AI does not cheat either, I should say. They just are hard and sneaky and will kick your ass. So, you know, if you are undecided, stick around. We're going to have a full series until we win or die for this game. So if you want to know more, if you want to learn more, if you want to watch me just die, go ahead. Please do. Join us on that journey. I'm going to give you also the typical spiel here, right? If you're enjoying this, subscriptions do help out the channel quite a bit. I do always appreciate them. Likes, all the same as well. And they also, you know, if this series gets a lot of likes, if you guys really like it, I will do more of them. I probably do more of them anyways because I just like the game. But I do pay attention to that, you know. It does important to me what the audience is clamoring for. I mean, I'm not a total populist there, but I still do listen. I do listen, despite what my wife says. I do listen. And, yeah. So, leave a comment down below as well. I've lost my train of thought there a little bit. My wife does think that, does know that I listen, actually. She's wonderful. Anyways, yeah. Leave a comment down below if you've got questions, thoughts about the game. If you're like super pumped to see somebody playing this, I think the last video on YouTube was from 2007. Well, you know, give it a shout out down below. I do love talking with you guys, and I still am able to communicate with you. I'm not too big for my britches as of the time of recording. I do love getting into those comments. And I'm just going to shut up now. I've rambled enough at the end of this episode and probably enough during it for everyone to get their fill. Get their fill. So, again, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you do stick around. Until then, my name is ManTheMaker. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.